The H2O scene
H2O?
with exactly the Josh Hartnett thing. There's a billion of them. Halloween 5, with the farm scene. Halloween, you could do the farm scene there.
The Smiths Grove, the basement in H6.
Yeah, you could do. Imagine seeing the hospital from H2. You have to survive in the hospital.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like, I mean, come on.
Shit.
Gun Media is reportedly working on a new game with a horror legend. Now, take this with a grain of salt, because they say reportedly, and that makes it sound like it's an actual story with sources. It's not. It's a rumor that's going around. But the rumor is this. The rumor is that Gun Media, and believe me, it is a rumor. I don't want to put words in anybody's mouths. But the rumor is that Gun Media is working on a new horror game. That much they pretty much said themselves. If you look here, you'll see Wes Keltner from Gun Media, which, by the way, is based in our state, in Lexington, Kentucky. This was a while back. This was back on November 3rd. But he said, Internet, what does this mean for Fear the Gun and the future? Will you make another multiplayer horror game? And he says, me. And it's like, yeah, motherfucker. So he said that.
He channeled some Samuel L.
He said that. And then back December 3rd, he posted, oh shit, what have I done? He posted this. It says motion capture hits different when virtual. And it's just a picture of this badass studio setup they got where they're doing motion capture stuff. Now stick with me. There's more to it than this. Mocap. And then he says just
mocap sounds like a discontinued gum.
It does.
Hey man, can I get a stick of mocap?
No man,
it's like it's like, no man, that mocap has been helping me fucking quit smoking. It sounds like a fucking discontinued smoking, like a non-smoking gum.
It does, dude.
Kick the habit with mocap.
He said just to chill my timeline. Yes, this one's for the next project. No, it's not for Friday the 13th. Okay, and then you move on a little bit further, and then you see not today, but 4 days ago, Kane Hodder. Someone asked him. They said, any word or hints about the new game you're working on? Kane Hodder said, soon. Watch for a hint. That means that Kane's working on something. Gun Media is working on something. There was a story a while back where Gun Media had tweeted to Blumhouse and to Ryan Turek, and it was a face like the dude was like, yes, me, and Ryan Turek was like, hey, I don't know what this is in reference to, but I love your game. And I think that was Gun Media's way of kind of saying, hey, we want to make a fucking Halloween game. Don't know what happened after that, where it went from that, but with this story,
Michael Myers is way overdue for a game like that. Like with the Friday the 13th game, he was in Dead by Daylight, which was good, but dude, like having a full on like game around Michael Myers would be amazing. I mean, that's like fucking money sitting on your shelf ready to be snatched up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what this says. Is it says the short version is that Gun Media has been hinting for a few months that they're working on a new horror project, including the possibility of it being multiplayer. They recently tweeted the above image showing the mocap studio, all the stuff I just talked about, and Kane Hodder did motion capture for Jason. He has mentioned on multiple occasions that he would like to play Michael in some form or fashion because he's done so many other horror icons. It's a complete rumor. It's a complete rumor, but just a tiny bit of hope for the game to be real.
By the way, I want to point out, yes, Ryan Kinney and Galford's dog, they did have one on Atari. You're correct, but I'm in a real Halloween game. That wasn't all right. I mean, I remember that game kind of, sort of, but I never played it. I've seen maybe the Angry Video Game Nerd or something like that when he played it. Looks like shit. It probably looked like shit back then. People were like, what the fuck is this garbage? I'm not feeling terrified at all. I just feel bad for Michael. But dude, that seems exciting and good stuff. By the way, a little quick side note to that. Interesting enough, and this wasn't in the article I mentioned, but do you remember Kane Hodder had discussed at one point a long time, I don't know when he discussed this, but he said he always wanted to play Michael Myers. Like he thought he'd be a good Michael Myers. So coupled with the fact that Gun Media is involved with this and that there's rumors swirling around about a potential Michael Myers game, then you have Kane Hodder, you throw that icing on the cake, and buddy, you're ready to have a fucking ice cream sandwich on some titties. And I like it.
That's going to be the headline. Ice cream sandwich on some titties. There's a Halloween game happening.
You know what? And I hope it's picked up by the hot sheets themselves. We got this covered. We watched a movie reported that a new Halloween game is in the works. Ice cream sandwiches on titties is the code name that it's under.
Yeah, dude, I'm surprised they haven't come out and already capitalized on that. I tweeted that earlier. I was like, I'm honestly surprised that there's a fart smell in the air that, and I mean that in a good way, that a possible Halloween game could happen. I'm surprised that we got this covered. Hasn't already written the article saying that they heard from their sources that it was happening, because that's all they do. They just make up bullshit that could possibly happen.
JT Custom says we talked about it in 2019. Well, I mean, maybe I didn't know. Maybe it might have, but this is new news. Like, I don't know. Like, this just
no. That's the thing. In 2019, it was a fucking scam. It was a bunch of scammers that had created. They created these visions of Laurie Strode, and they created what looks like video game characters, and they told everybody, "Hey, we're doing a Kickstarter." They're fucking liars. It turned out to be complete bullshit, JT Custom. So that's what happened then. This is coming from somewhere else. Like, you got Gun Media. We don't know what the next project is. You got Kane Hodder saying he is working on a game. We know that he wants to do something. I don't think a Hatchet is a popular enough franchise to get a video game. As much as I like the franchise, there's a little bit of smoke, not a whole lot. We don't know shit, but let's talk about it for a second. What would you want a Halloween game to be?
Like a straight up Halloween game?
Yeah.
Like, well, it would be cool to do an RPG just doesn't fit. I feel like the best idea for a Halloween game is, and I mean, this might sound gross a little bit, and it's kind of like Dead by Daylight, I suppose. But I would go with Left 4 Dead kind of stylized, especially if they're going to introduce the multiplayer. You have 4 guys, 4 girls, 4 guys, whatever. Use the pronouns, bitch. You have 4 people like get together online, and they have to survive Michael. And that's it. Like, it's pretty much the Friday the 13th game. But that's all I would do. I would actually keep the same formula that they used in the Friday the 13th game, because it was actually really effective. And the Friday the 13th game that they had, that was awesome. They would have continued updates, improving the game, making it better, making it cooler, fixing glitches, doing all that stuff, if this bullshit lawsuit hadn't happened.
Yeah. So
I would actually keep the same formula that they worked with, because it'd be cool to do a storyline kind of thing. Like, it would be cool to do an RPG, like, kind of, you take possession of Laurie Strode, or actually through the eyes of Dr. Loomis, and make it a detective game. Make it more like I don't know, they're like a horror game, but like where you're a detective trying to piece together clues before his next victim is killed.
Yeah.
And it would be Dr. Loomis, and you'd be doing that on the trail of Michael Myers. I don't know. You could do something like that.
I'm asking for a lot with what I want. I actually don't want and nothing against Friday the 13th. It was an amazing idea. I mean, you could actually play Jason and like play against people online. I love Gun Media. Those guys, they seem like really nice, really cool people. And I totally support what they do, and I support what they do with Jason. But that being said,
we're gonna keep buttering those nipples till they come on this show for an interview.
Hey, I'll ask them. They probably would. They seem like cool dudes. But and again, they're based in the same state we are. But I think what I would like to do, I would like to have that as a multiplayer option. It would be cool if you could play as Michael or play as them. And then they kind of already have the engines for that. They have the ideas for that. I don't know dick butt about games, but they already have the idea for that landed. So the best case scenario for me would be if you could do that on the side. But what I'd be really interested in, dude, is if they made a story fueled game where you could play through the game as different characters. Like, you have to survive first as Laurie Strode, and then once you beat the game as Laurie Strode and Michael's around every corner, you don't know what's going to happen. Yes, you have to make the right decisions, and you have to protect the kids, all this stuff like that. But then next you unlock Loomis, and then you play as Loomis, and then you've got to get to the house and get to Michael and stop him from killing Laurie. And then you can play as different characters in the franchise. I think that would be super deep. I'd like an in-depth actual story mode game, and then also a multiplayer on the side of it.
Yeah, it would be cool. Like, an RPG would be a pretty interesting in-depth thing. But here's the thing about Gun Media. Gun Media may not want to put that much money. I mean, because you look at Friday the 13th. I mean, it obviously cost them a pretty penny to make the game. But if you're talking about a fully realized role play, because that's essentially an RPG, what you're describing. And by the way, someone had mentioned it. What I was talking about was the same game called The Evil Within, where you took the possession of Loomis, or just a detective, and hunting down, Michael Myers. That's a lot of money, especially if you're going to make the graphics look really good, the gameplay to be real sexy, and people can get involved in it. And then you're going to put multiplayer on the side. I think people are pretty much expecting Gun Media, which there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, to just follow up with the formula of Friday the 13th and bring Michael Myers over it, or bring Michael Myers into it. Maybe tweak it a little bit where it'll be a slightly different type of a game, but it'll essentially be this, which I'm fucking fine with. That'd be cool as fuck to run around, suburbia and like being chased by Michael. That would be cool shit.
And they basically renegaded the fuck out of that game, man. I mean, they did so much shit themselves, and they did so much cool stuff with it. And you're dealing with a franchise that's too busy, kicking itself in the nuts over this and that, and blah blah blah. If Blumhouse, if the people, if Trancas, if the Accods, they seem like way more supportive, way more interested parties about wanting to make product and not just money. And I feel like if they had a really good backing partner, they could take what they did with that game and just fucking expand it and just make it so much better. I would love to see that. And, I will say this. If anybody gets the rights to a Halloween game, I really hope it's them. They proved that they know what they were doing. Friday the 13th could have sucked ass in so many ways. And even though
it was really...
we never figured it out for ourselves for the stream because we wanted to stream it. But
streaming, it's a hard fucking game though. I always got killed. I tried it a couple times. Like I fucking suck.
I suck, dude. I suck.
And I never wanted. I mean, you'd be like, oh, I want to be Jason. It's like, no, bitch, I don't, because I don't know how to kill you. Like, I'm gonna stand there and look like a big dumb shit asshole from the hills. That's how I was like, Jason's kind of stupid anyway, and now I'm actually gonna be a stupid player controlling him. I'm like, they made fun of my mama's head, and I can't catch them. I was like, I can't do that.
What's really interesting because with Friday the 13th, you were basically at the campground, right? It was kind of the same deal for a lot of it. But with this, if they had backing and if they had support, I don't know how all this stuff works out. I'm just spitballing. But if they had backing, they had support, you could go from the original Halloween to just for fun, they could have a Halloween Resurrection level where you're either Michael stalking people through the Dangertainment house, you know what I mean, or you're playing as Freddy or the other people. That would be fun. And Freddy has like extra like roundhouse kick moves, dumb shit like that. Or Halloween 4, you got the car scene in Halloween 5. There's just so many cool places.
If they're gonna go the same route that they used for Friday the 13th, there's like 100 million different scenes that you could pick from the Halloween franchise and make it badass. The H2O scene
H2O?
with Josh Hartnett thing. There's a billion of them. Halloween 5. God damn. But the farm, I hate that fucking movie. But the farm scene, Halloween. Yeah, you could do the farm scene there.
The Smith's Grove, the basement in H6. Oh, that would be fucking cool.
You could imagine seeing the hospital from H2. You have to survive in the hospital.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like, come out. But that's why I think it's because they use mocap, and then Kane Hodder they're using mocap, and Kane Hodder mentioned in that article that he did motion capture work for them with Friday the 13th. So I imagine that's exactly what they're going to be going for, is doing motion capture with Kane Hodder playing Michael Myers. It would be fucking sick though if they were able to get Nick Castle or somebody like that, or James U. Courtney to come in and provide some motion capture as oh my god. But I think if they get the support of Blumhouse, it'll definitely happen, because that's the good thing about if they do Halloween and Michael Myers, is that they're going to have the support of a studio that all their fucking chickens are in a row and there's no lawsuit bullshit going on. So it's going to be a totally different experience for them, and they're going to have a good time, Jim. You're going to like the way you look, I guarantee it.
What are you going to do on October 31st?
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael!
I said, God damn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael! What are you gonna do on October 31st?